Alright guys, today we watched this video by Thomas Brush, so definitely go and check out his channel.
Which engine should you use? Unity, Unreal, what's best? Especially if you want to make a 3D game or an FPS. I had a chat with Sterling Rank, the co-creator of Ready or Not, a viral tactical FPS that sold millions of copies. The whole game was made in Unreal. Conversely,
yeah, in my opinion, if you are looking for such a graphics, a hyper-realistic graphics, a photorealistic graphics, and you do not want a lot of headache, definitely go with Unreal Engine. If you want something more cartoonish, you can also make hyper-realistic or realistic video games in Unity, but optimization will suck, and it does not have a better render pipeline than Unreal has. So you can go with Unity if most of your assets in your company or that you made already is in Unity, or if you want to make it in Unity because most of your team are experienced in Unity or most of your expertise are in Unity. But if you know the both of engines, you have both in them assets, or you are a totally beginner in both of two, I would advise you to go, if you are looking at such a graphics, go with Unreal. It would be way more easier to nail such a graphics.
my first person shooter, Twisted Tower.
Yeah, see, it's a bit more cartoonish. Yes, the graphics looks amazing. By the way, there's nothing wrong with doing cartoonish realistic, or this is what we could say more like the level of Overwatch poly counts. So this, if you are looking for something like this, definitely can go and do it in Unity game engine.
Is made in Unity. And I was a bit, taken aback in the conversation. See, I'll be honest, I don't love Unity sometimes. And I made it clear to Sterling Rank that honestly, Unity...
Yes, Unity is more confusing. It has like 3 render pipelines, URP, SRP, and HDRP. And it's super confusing, to be honest. I don't know why just they do one render pipeline, and like HDRP is just like the fucking worst thing ever in optimization, and URP just does not make your graphics really look that good like HDRP. So yeah, it's very confusing, and Unity sometimes need you to be very expert to really make a very good 3D realistic game.
Has been a pain to work with for my FPS, but Sterling gave me some insights about Unity and Unreal that might make you think twice about Unreal. And by the way, if you're dreaming of making indie games full-time, I have a course that shows you exactly what I've done to build a 6-figure game studio. It's called Full-Time Game Dev, and it's 50% off for the summer sale for a limited time with just 100 seats available. From building a game studio in your bedroom, landing publisher deals with just a demo, getting funded on Kickstarter, building a game from scratch in Unity, Godot, or Unreal, and hitting the Steam front page, this course has everything you need to pursue your indie game dream. You also get my 2D art, 3D art, and YouTube programs completely free, but only for this short summer sale. This is my biggest sale so far this year, so click the link below to be one of the 100 students to join the program. All right, let's get back to the conversation. So, you finally started working on this game, and it's been a 8 years? Is that true?
That's gotta be.
Yeah, for such a game, this is a very, and if you have not a very big production team or not a AAA company, or you will need a lot of work to do this. 7 to 8 years is good. And by the way, don't do something if you like use Unreal Engine and you started in Unreal 4, do not switch to Unreal 5, of course, because it would mess up your project. You should, in both Unreal and Unity, stay in the same version you are doing such a game if you have a very long production time.
When was the reveal trailer? 2017? It's been a while. Yeah, I mean, working on the project for at least a year and a half before that, I think. Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's my entire life has been this single project, and it has. I mean, I just finished working on the early parts of the creative roadmap.
Very, very astonishing project, to be honest. It's not like something. It looks very solid. Looks like something that's been produced by a very big production team. Sometimes even better some the new AAA games, unfortunately.
What we need to do, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be it for a while, which is great. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, shit, yeah. This isn't even close to being done. I want to tell more stories.
That's right. You were building all this in Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk to me a little bit about Unreal? Do you have any? I use Unity, and I'm making a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And it has been a pain in the butt. Like, Unity is so clunky.
Yeah.
When it comes to lighting and shadows and asset streaming and
That's
culling.
right.
It's an optimization nightmare. So I could say that about Unity. What are your thoughts on Unreal?
Unity is like, you need to have at least 4 years of making commercial games, and you know about optimization. You've been working in a job that's in a very big studio with experience in optimization, or an equivalent experience for at least 7 years of knowing how optimization works. You need to know everything from how a simple 3D object is like created, so you can really understand what are you doing in optimization, to the very hardest coding patterns just for giving yourself 1 to 2% boost in like optimization. It's a hell, especially if you're using HDRP. You're gonna kill yourself probably before you figure it out if you are not really experienced with it. That's why I always say go for Unreal if you do not or not obligated to make it in Unity.
Unreal. Like, why did you choose Unreal?
Well, I worked on a bunch of projects that were using Unreal already. That was the first thing. The second thing was that I used C++, which Ryan was familiar with using. So like everyone who was there early on was very familiar with Unreal. And best thing of all was it cost no money to use at the time. Even now, we could.
And by the way, Unreal have a very better cinematic workflow than Unity. Making cutscene in Unity is very way more worse than Unreal Engine. Like when I used Unreal Engine, I didn't need to make such more tools as I needed to do and implement in Unity to make a very good cutscene as Unreal.
On Unreal 4 point, like, what was it, 2 or whatever it was, and we were just like, just enjoying the hell out of it. Like, I think we were just very familiar with it, and we didn't have to pay. We didn't have to pay for anything. At the time, we had no cash at all. We hadn't even we didn't put up the supporter thing. We hadn't even found Julio hadn't joined the team yet. Like, a lot of stuff like that, right? So it was be as cost effective as possible because I have $10 in my bank,
Right.
and I have no money, so we can't pay for it.
Do you guys owe per the amount of copies you've sold? Don't you owe Unreal a certain percentage now?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course, if you sold more than $1 million, you owe Unreal a percentage, but who the fuck cares? You just made $1 million. Of course you can pay them. This like, and you can do the seat based. By the way, it costs only very little. It's not like only it's royalty based if you are a big company. So yeah.
Do you find that to be reasonable?
I think so. I think, like, given what they provide you,
like, if you don't want to pay 5%, you can just buy a seat per the number of employees you did. That's super simple. So yeah, it's very interesting, and it's not that much of a big thing to worry about, believe me.
depends on who you ask, right? Like, there's that guy on YouTube, another guy on YouTube who's been, making the rounds. Is that, what's his name? He's like I don't know if he's a technical artist or just a programmer, but he's definitely an engineer of some kind. He's very clever. It's that guy who's been kind of deep. I don't know. He's been deep diving Unreal and how much it sucks or whatever, and how unoptimized it is, and how nanites like useless and things. I think I'm very much watering it down.
Do we agree that nanite? Okay.
I've tried now.
Yeah, see, Unreal is good, and I thought I heard Thomas saying something about Unreal. Unreal 5 had a problem with Nanite and Lumen because of optimization, and the reason, guys, was not actually just because of Unreal. It was because of Unreal not really saying how this thing works. Like, these workflows are very different from the usual workflow that we usually do. That's what made optimization sucks in multiple video games done by Unreal 5. And it's these trees are usually made by an LOD So the farthest tree is like sometimes an imposter. It's not even a 3D object, and the nearest tree is the highest in details. The farthest tree is the lowest in details. This is what is called LOD. So we have multiple objects for a tree. Also, we do not model each leaf. Usually we make like a lot of squares which have some leaf texture which make the tree, for example, a very simple example. This model that we've been working on in the game industry for a very long time did not work with Nanite and Lumen very well. That is because Nanite does not work with LOD groups or textures for leaves as well, so it made the optimization sucks a lot. And then Nanite foliage was like implemented, but it's simply you need to model everything in the tree, even the leaves, with a mesh. And I know this sounds crazy, it should have been worst optimization, but no, in a technical view you can simply know and understand why. So yeah, it had problems of documentation in my opinion, and many artists, Unreal artists, experienced artists, I watched a lot of videos that they mentioned that, and they mentioned it very, very well and better than me with examples, and they tried it in Unreal. So yeah, it had problems because people did not understand the tool, and even Unreal did not understand what the problems that they made that conflict with the industry, which is super normal because it was version 5. Until 5.3 it was like, or 5. The recent version, it was fixed with Nanite Forge and stuff like that, with the tech demo of The Witcher. I think they mentioned it too. So yeah, it's just a confusion from both Unreal and how the standard gaming industry, video games industry, was doing their 3D models.
And I mean, I've seen the horror stories, and I want to stay away for now. I understand that this stuff can be like.
And again, even Unreal 4 is way better than Unity HDRB. Even in Unity 6, to be honest, it's way easier workflow.
Yeah, before it's ready. I don't know. It's probably great.
But you're not making an open world game. It's
no
close quarters, indoors, so you can take advantage of.
Yeah. By the way, that this is a big thing. Like in my game Robotic Hell, when you are outside in the forest, it's like up to 10 million triangles. I have problem with patches that I didn't fix till now. It was, my patches is like 4,000 and I need to fix that, but outside of patches it's like indoors I could manage to do it with even less than 1 million triangles in a scene, and it's hyper realistic graphics, by the way, but in with like foliage outside and mountains and stuff like that, it's at least 10 million to 11 million. By the way, I had multiple problems. I even scored before optimization 70 million triangles, which is insane. No computer would do that, and it was the only way to make it. If you have a ton of optimization, you know to do everything, you know everything about LODs, you know everything by all techniques used in optimization, you know everything by calling, by code optimization, you know everything by skin mesh problems and animation problems that are loading far from the camera and stuff like that, and how to make like, for example, if you made an anime AI, the anime AI that is very far from the player either should be disabled or doing only a simple version of it, like just patrolling, for example, and existing, and not working with the fully code, because it could get very complicated and very heavy on the computer. You should always use your profiler, you should always use imposters and stuff like that. Bake stuff in the skybox if you have like a very far, very big mountains or castles or stuff like that, used in some games like Dark Souls 3. And yeah, so it's very complicated and needs a lot of experience in multiple scenarios. Sometimes I don't even mind if someone hired an optimization specialist for Unity if it was a realistic game.
You don't have to render things at far distances, right?
Precisely, yeah. I
can see the
that guy is, I forgot his name, but he's been making the rounds about whether or not it's like, is this good? Is this, compare it to Decima engine or compare it to like old engines from like 20 years ago, and how much better it looked, and they have multiple shadows casting. I get it, but what I like about Unreal is that it's accessible. And the thing that they didn't have back then, and this is why a lot of game companies maybe not game companies, but a lot of indies move to Unreal and whatnot, is there isn't really much else on the market. What are you going to use Source? You're going to go and like buy a license from Valve? You're going to make a mod and hope to God that Valve comes and friggin' like goes, actually, yeah, here you go. Like, there aren't that many options for you now. Yeah, there are. There's
as we said in previous episodes, now game industry is way easier to do than before. Before it was like a hell of a nightmare to make a video game. Making realistic games as a small team or a solo dev, you should have been crazy to even think about it like 7 years ago or 10 years ago. Right now, no, not 7 years ago, to be honest. No, I would not say 10 years. I would say 12, 15 years ago. Yeah, that's something more right for it. But now it's way easier and way better and codable.
Go engine thing looks great. I've seen some cool games. There's a bunch of cool games. You can do like, you could have done back in the day, like Flash games, like Newgrounds, like you're talking about, which would like the pinnacle of gaming in my opinion. But then you don't have anything else. You have Unity you got to pay for, and there are issues with Unity, but it is still like a solid engine, and it's great for certain types of games. It's great for any. Tarkov is an FPS and it's on Unity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can achieve whatever you want with any engine. I just think it's like, I get it. I get that people like that are trying to dispel things about.
Again, if you shouldn't use Unity if you do not have any asset of it. You're just starting your game. You're not obligated to use it. Just go use Unreal
Engine, and there are problems with the engine. Absolutely, things that don't make any sense, and they should be fixed. But unless you can get a license for like Snowdrop, or like Decima, or anything else, like the Horizon one, I think Horizon might have also been Decima.
Tell me about those. What are those?
Snowdrop's the one that was used for the Division, which is the Division 1 and 2 use Snowdrop engine, which was like, you can look online for like tech demos of how it works, and like people talking about how great it is and things. Whether or not that's true is a different story, you know. They might have been chained to their desks at Ubisoft.
Yeah, you never know.
But like, it looks great. Visually, it's very impressive. And the Division holds up. It's a fucking awesome looking game.
Well, for clarity, Unity you don't have to pay for.
Right. Okay. So I don't want to misrepresent it. That's a good point.
However,
back then you had to.
Yes. Yeah. You don't. I don't have to pay anything for Unity. To get rid of the splash screen, you do have to pay.
Well, fair enough.
And then they had this weird. Everybody knows about this, but the weird. You had to pay royalties based on.
Oh yeah.
I can't even remember. It's so distant. They had some kind of algorithm that could determine how many copies you sold. So basically,
that was the stupidest decision. That one of the 10 possibly worst decision any company in the entire world ever did.
A ticker that checks how many games you've sold, so they're like kind of watching.
Yeah, like see the shock on that guy's face. He will, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, it was a very stupid decision, and thank God they just removed it before destroying their whole company.
Oh my god!
And they lost a lot of users, by the way. Many indie developers now is using Godot, and many switched to Unreal, and bad management. Bad supervision, putting a stupid CEO in your company will make you lose a lot of money. Yeah, so don't just put people who say, I'm experienced. Make sure that they align with the principles of the company or the principles of the users.
It ended up going away. My problems with Unity it's the optimization. It's been such a pain in the butt.
Optimization
for my first person shooter.
By the way, Thomas, if you are seeing this video, definitely go and reach out to me. I don't think Thomas is using HRB. I think he's using URP, and if you are using URP, I have tons of tools for optimization. If you need anything, just contact me by email, and I will send you some stuff.
It's such a pain in the butt, and the lighting doesn't look as good. It just, I don't know why. It just doesn't look good. It looks like a 2005 game. That's kind of what it looks like.
Are you trying to make it look realistic as well? Like, is that a big cool
I don't know. My game Twisted Tower is stylized. It has a BioShock. It looks like BioShock.
Cool.
But the light.
See the difference. See the difference between BioShock and his Twisted Tower game. I think I know what's the problem with the lighting, but needs a lot of explanation, to be honest.
It doesn't look as creamy. I don't know the right word. It doesn't look as creamy.
You might, if you really need to do something. There is a lot of problems with the lighting, Thomas. There's a lot of it. The light distribution in the project is also not, besides technical stuff, the light distribution in the image is wrong, and that's because you probably did not hire a lighting director, something like that. Many use it in the industry of movies and stuff like that. They hire a director for the light who says that this light should be there and this light should be here, and you did not hire one. That's why the light itself, without the technical stuff that makes it really looks like one colored, and shadows are not and the bloomy areas are not really fitting well with your game. And beside that technical stuff, it's because where you put the light is a bit wrong.
Creamy, and it might just because of real-time global illumination, it just doesn't work out of the box.
Yeah.
Whereas Unreal, the real-time global illumination does, which is, it's called Lumen, I think, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, Lumen.
It's mainly the optimization stuff. Like the game, my brother, he has a PC that he built.
And you noticed, by the way, Thomas, there's many stuff in the game that are casting shadows that really do not need to cast shadows. This could shadow casters could take up a lot of your performance in the game, so you need to remove that.
It's a solid PC, and I was like, "Hey, can you test my game?" And he tested it, and he's like, "It's running at 20 FPS," and I had no idea why.
Yeah,
and it was
happened to me, by the way. I tested it. First time I tested it in a 6050 GTX 6050. Oh my fucking god! I thought, I will hit 60 FPS. It hit 10, and then I said, no, man, no, I can't even send a vertical slice with that thing. I need to work more on the optimization, and I did. I did score 60. Mainly just by decreasing the trace count and the shadow casters. Maybe even I've done, I remember, chunk optimization when I started it. Culling was already done, shadow mask already done, and stuff like that. Code optimization was pretty solid, but I still have, I guess, problem with patches that I forgot to fix. If I fix the patches stuff, it would be cool. And this is a video of the video game. It has a very cool graphics, by the way. It's not bad in my opinion, but yeah, it might need more work.
Because of real-time shadows. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, so I've got to be, and I don't know if this, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if this is true with Unreal, but with Unity, you got to basically disable shadows, except for every once in a while have one light cast shadows.
No, that's true. That's the same with
Is it true with Unreal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The minute you have more than one shadow casting light, say goodbye to your frame rates. Your GPU starts dying.
Of course, that's what happens.
It's you can. That's the one of the points, right? You can find engines and you can write engines that can handle that. But it's just tricky to do. You can't look. Just depends on where your lights are, and also how far they're visible, what they're shading. I'm testing my tech art knowledge here, and I'm sure Alan will watch this, and he'll be like, "What a tech lead?" He's gonna watch this and be like, "You're so wrong. This is incorrect." And I'm like, "Fuck!" But it's about the shadows being cast, and so what you're impacting, the quality of the shadows, distance the shadows are visible, how many lights in one scene are shadow casting, because that's more to render to the GPU. And how many are overlapping, and there's probably a few other things too. Also, the type of light. It's a point light. It goes everywhere.
That's
it's omnidirectional.
That's 4 spotlights.
It's a shitload, right? One spotlight, you're good to go. And then a light that doesn't cast a shadow, but it's just illuminating, then that's obviously it's not free, but it's in the same pass.
It's
decal.
Almost free. Dude, I found that when I disabled, I had, let's say, 300 lights in one scene.
Ooh, 300, Thomas, what the fuck?
I disabled all the lights and I looked at my stats. The frame rate was not impacted at all.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I was like, wait, so I can have baked
lighting.
I
no, Thomas, no, how did you do that?
For 4
and that's why By the way, Thomas is a very good developer and a very good artist, as you are seeing in his video games. Just like optimizations is another major in game development. You need a specialist in it.
Once I learned how to do all of it,
Ugh.
and it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
to
I
learn.
remember when he
Um,
published a video with Baked
Yeah, I
Light.
learned it all, and then I realized, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need to bake lights. The problem was shadows. It was always shadows. So I had ChatGPT. I'm sorry, Grok. I had Grok. Who did I use? No, I used Claude. I had Claude
Cloudy.
write.
Yeah, usually developers use Cloudy. That's best for criticism, in my opinion. I always take a picture and tell him, yeah, criticize my game, make me feel like a piece of shit. And he give me very good, solid points. Because in prototyping, I don't start QA testing until I'm done prototyping something big, because if it's a very small thing, I don't want to really push my QA team or playtesters to do it. So I only do it when there's a very big chunk of updates. So to get a very better feedback. So I use Cloud. Just what do you think?
An editor tool that disabled all shadow casters from every single object in the game. So it ran through my whole project hierarchy. And this is what's funny is that
some guy wrote that code before. I don't remember where it was written. I don't remember the website, but yeah, there was a code like that. Maybe Cloud is just stripped it away from that guy. I don't really know.
I just wonder, like, why isn't it that Unity tells us this? I don't know, or just says like, hey,
it's because no solo very small game guy would really make such a game as big as Twisted Towers. So that's why, Thomas, it's just something that people gatekeep because they think other people won't really need that knowledge.
warning, you've got more than 100 objects in the scene that are
all right, that's a solid point. They could make
casting shadows. You need to turn off the casting shadows. But then I also had to go through all my point lights and turn off the shadow casting from those. And I have to go through every level and just fine tune and find like 2 or 3 lights that I really care about.
This is routine. Many times happens a lot of problems that you need to go to each level and do the same thing for each object.
Those are my shadow casters. Is that true with y'all?
In a sense, yeah. Like for us, it's like you can only have so many in a space, and a lot of our levels are like on top of each other. Right? There's a lot of verticality,
yeah.
So they will still trigger lights that aren't even in a visible area. There's probably ways to program that in so that it turns them off, and it's something that would be really cool to explore because I'm sure there are smarter ways of doing lighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's still a problem for us too. You kind of have to pick your battles, pick the areas where the light is going to have the most impact, and then go from there. Because you can have a shadow caster, you can have a non-shadow caster, and they can still have the same effect. Do they draw your eye somewhere? Are they just used for a visual cue? Like, does it just look cool, good for screenshots? Like, there are different reasons why you might do it. And then the hardware too. It might be something where you optimize it for certain, like you optimize it for a baseline hardware, and then you go.
If you are making a game and trying to ship it for Nintendo or like for a mobile in the future, of course you will not develop it as you are going to develop it just for big consoles like Xbox, PS5, and PC.
And extra lights, and that becomes layers that get selected and turned on, depending on how it works. I don't know how it works in Unity, but yeah, that's absolutely an issue. Don't worry, dynamic lighting is a pain in the ass. That's why. But there are custom solutions. I think Unity has a couple really good ones, like that you can get off the store. But it's stressing my knowledge there.
So yeah, an amazing video by Thomas Brush. Definitely go and check out his channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.